So we're going to start going into solving equations. So you notice the problems have equal signs now. And so we're kind of finished with let's practice positive, negative, let's practice fractions, let's practice decimals. Kind of moving on from that onto solving equations. A few things about this. Before you get into here are all the steps and here's how you get the answer, just keep in mind what the question is on this. This is asking you what number minus 2 is 17. Right? So you could probably figure that out on your own. Right? Oh yeah, 19 minus 2 is 17. 13 plus what is 22? Right? That's all it's asking. You're trying to find the number that makes one side equal to the other side, or make the two sides equal to each other. Okay? But before we do that, I want to do something called doing a check. You might have done this before. We had to check your answers. Right? And that just means I gave you the answer for all these problems. So today is not about what's the answer, but just about proving that it is the answer. How do you prove it once you have the answer that for sure it's correct? So here's what you're going to do. You're going to take the answer that's given to you, the x that's given to you, and you're going to rewrite it inside the equation. So you're going to plug it in for x, or for the variable, whatever letter it is. So you're going to plug in 19 minus 2, and whatever side that can be simplified, you just simplify it and show that you get the same number on both sides. Once you get the same number on both sides, you can say that you have checked it. Only if both sides are equal to each other. Today, they all will be. But when you're doing your own work and checking your own answers, sometimes they won't be. That means you made a mistake. So this is the way you find out after you've done the work, did I make a mistake? It's kind of like writing the first draft and then doing a spell check. Like, are there any little errors I made? And you go back and you check it. Okay? So that's all. That's all there is. You're just going to go through each one of these. Alright, plug in the number and just show, is 6 plus 16, is that equal to 22? And it sure is. And that's how you do a check. Is 13 plus 9, is that equal to 22? Right, and it is. 13 plus 9 is 22. And they'll get a little bit more elaborate. So like this one you have to do, is negative 13 the same as negative 20 minus a negative 7? So here you actually have to show a little bit of work and say, oh yeah, that's two negatives make a positive. So is negative 20 plus 7 equal to negative 13? And yes, it is. Negative 20 plus 7 is negative 13. So you're going to show all the work necessary that it takes to get down to the same number on both sides to prove that it's the right answer. So you can see a little bit of what we're doing, actually a lot of what we've been doing in these problems. Just go down and pick a few more. So starting here, is negative 2/3 equal to negative 5/3 plus 1? And you're just going through and doing all the same steps you have been doing. Alright, so multiply top and bottom by 3. So we're going to have 3 over 3. And sure enough, negative 5 plus 3 does equal negative 2/3. So it's not about the can you figure out the answer, it's about showing all the steps to get to that answer. That's what's important. This really emphasizes, yeah, it's not impressive if you get the answer because I'm giving that to you. What we're looking for is can you show all the work to get there. So you might have to do a little bit of common denominators or whatever it takes in order to get the right work. Same thing here. 19 over 20, does that equal 11 over 4 minus 9 over 5. We know it does. Just show the work to get there. So let's see. This is kind of nice because it kind of lets you know, like, well, we know it has to equal over 20, so it kind of lets us know the common denominator is 20 on both of these, which is the smallest number that 5 and 4 both go into. Right? And then if you multiply by 5, top and bottom here, to get 20, and multiply by 4, bottom and top here, to get 36. 55 minus 36 is definitely 19. So both sides match. So and please notice how I'm keeping these equals lined up vertically. Try to do the same thing. Try to show the work in the same way I am, so that all the steps are there. And that way also when you compare with somebody else, it's easy to find and match your work with theirs because it's written the same way. So try to keep it organized as much as possible. Let's see here. Anything else? Maybe look at the back. Okay. So does 10 over 9, does that equal 20 over 18? And sure enough, if you reduce the right-hand side, divide top and bottom by 2, right, you do get 10 over 9. So yeah, that is the right answer. Number 17 is, I don't know, kind of more straightforward. Is negative 6 over 5, is that equal to negative 6 over 5? Yeah, there's nothing really to show. It's the same thing on both sides. Good. And maybe do just a few more. There's going to be some with 2 steps. How about some of these? And we'll be ready to go. Alright, so does 53, does that equal 3 minus 5 times, notice I'm going to use parentheses here, negative 10. Right. And then just go through and show the steps. So 53 equals, now you do the multiplication first. You might remember that called the order of operations. So you have to do negative 5 times negative 10 first. So I'm going to leave the 3 alone. And then negative 5 times negative 10, that's positive 50, right? And now you know 53 equals 3 plus 50 is 53. So order of operations says you multiply or divide first, then add or subtract. So that's the same thing on number 25. We'll have negative 4 divided by 4 minus 4, and that should equal negative 5. So we figure out, well, what's negative 4 divided by 4? And you'll get negative 1. Bring down the minus 4, and the equals negative 5. And then negative 1 minus 4 is negative 5. So you don't have to worry about the right answer. You know what the answer is supposed to come out to be. So if your work doesn't match it, you know that when you need to go back and look at it, raise your hand, or ask someone around you if you get stuck. Okay. They all should come out to be the same number on both sides. Anything else on there you need to talk about? Looks like it's pretty much the same. So go ahead and work on that. We have, let's see, 11:49. We have over 20 minutes, so you might be able to finish these right now. You can just keep on working. If you want to work on this a little later and finish up tomorrow, that's fine. Okay, but try to do anything that's you might get stuck on right now.